Hi guys, welcome to Nobel Peace Prize laureate, the People's Duchess. How are you guys doing? So glad you could join me for another episode of the People's Duchess. I am so glad you guys are here. We have such an amazing, busy month for the Sussexes and for myself. I went into escrow on the house. Super excited about that. And there's also really good news for the Sussexes. So, the Duchess of Sussex is leading the keynote speech at the South by Southwest Festival in Austin, Texas later on this week. It's going to be opening day panel with Katie Couric and Brooke Shields. And I want to get all up into this good news. But first, I want to continue in the tradition of highlighting individuals for Women's History Month. So happy Women's History Month to all of the amazing women out there. Same format as I did for our February Black History Month highlights. Kicking things off with this month's highlight, we have actually a trio of wonderful ladies who contributed to some of the most important scientific work our nation has ever seen. I'm of course talking about Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson, the three inspirational ladies behind the hit movie Hidden Figures, starring Octavia Spencer, Taraji P. Henson, and Janelle Monáe. These ladies were all NASA mathematicians and engineers. They contributed to some of the most important mathematical calculations NASA has ever seen. I really wanted to just highlight these three women because without them, the space program would not have been as advanced as it was at that time, working to integrate the facility in those early days of integration. I love aeronautics. I love all things cosmos, primarily because of my love of Star Wars. You know, when you're a kid and you're watching Star Wars, that trickles into space exploration. And from there, Bill Nye, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and so on and so forth. I will always talk about Star Wars because it's not just a movie. It's about exploration. It's about curiosity. It's about questioning the unknown. It's about finding yourself, learning about your own intrinsic power and how to wield it. I will be completely honest with you guys. I have to come clean. Vader's my favorite. Hear me out. Walk with me. Walk with me. When I think of Vader, I'm not talking about like Death Star Vader who was on a bend to kill everybody. I mean, sweet, caring, kind, nurturing Anakin. He was just so like misunderstood and led astray, and his mom, bless her heart, she tried her best, but she didn't really know how to hone his skills, and then she did what she thought was best for him by letting him go with Obi-Wan and train in the Jedi Institution. Anakin is a cautionary tale. He's quite relatable. He's someone that I think we can all see a little bit of ourselves in, and especially at the end, that redemption arc. He came to his senses at the end there. And you know, Jedis are forever. If you strike them down, they only become stronger. So thank you, Catherine, Dorothy, and Mary for your contribution to science, to Black history, to American history, and women's history. We are indebted to your work and work ethic and contribution. All right, so moving into today's episode. Oh my God, you guys. This is going to be a month that we feast. We're going to be so full. Meghan is going to headline at South by Southwest. That is going to be later on this week from the 8th to the 16th in Austin, Texas. She is going to be joined by powerhouses Katie Couric and Brooke Shields, and they are going to be kicking off their panel on International Women's Day. There's something about being on the right side of history. There is something about women who resist the urge to compete with other women or press other women down or pull up the ladder behind them. There's just something to be said about a girl's girl. They're also going to be joined by sociologist and DEI author Nancy Wang Yen and moderated by the founder of the Amendment podcast and editor at large for the 19th, Erin Haynes. This is going to be a heck of a panel, guys. This is going to be a heck of a panel. They're going to have a hootin' good time, probably a hootenanny or two, and absolutely a hoedown. They're in Texas. I'm looking forward to this because South by Southwest used to just be like a little music festival, kind of an obscure little thing for locals in Texas, and it has grown over the years to the point where royalties involved and individuals like Haynes are involved, who is a powerhouse in her field, as is Wang Yen, and obviously Katie Couric, America's darling anchor, and Brooke Shields. I couldn't be more proud of Meghan to continue in her path, to not have let the past couple of years derail her in any way, shape, or form. Sure, she's fought the personal fight. She's had her dark days. She's struggled her struggles, but look at her. She's just so resilient. And I normally hate, absolutely abhor this strong black woman trope. I hate it so much. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it because it encourages people to test that strength. It encourages people to see how far they can test you, to see how strong you are. I am a person who has never fought anyone. I've never even come close to fighting anyone. I don't fight. I don't know how to fight. I wouldn't join you in a fight. I am not your ride or die. In fact, I'm probably going to be the first one on the phone with the police. So I hate that label, but the strong black woman now knows when to walk away from those kinds of tests. She knows her worth. She knows self-respect. She knows self-care. She knows when to walk the hell away from that table that they've fed you poison and expected you to die on. So this is just such a great role model for women, black young girls to look at and say, no, I'm not going to take those tests. I will not be tested. I will not be considered strong if I don't die from this. Like, no, I'm going to walk away because therein lies my strength. So Meghan is on the right side of history here. She's doing what she needs to do. She's said her piece and she has moved on, and it has garnered so much healthy growth. And she's now representing Archwell Productions, and her husband beautifully. And she'll be up there on the stage at South by Southwest exploring the topic, breaking barriers, shaping narratives, how women lead on and off the screen. It's going to be a fabulous good time. This panel has been touted as the perfect finishing touch to 8 days of remarkable keynote speakers. That is a quote from Hugh Forrest, the South by Southwest co-president and chief programming officer. He went on to say that we are so honored to host this distinguished group on International Women's Day for a significant discussion on the importance of representation in media and entertainment. The panelists this year include Selena Gomez, Kirsten Dunst, Sydney Sweeney, Conan O'Brien, Daniel Kwan, Daniel Shiner, Coleman Domingo, Ilana Glazer, Pamela Alden, and Lily Singh, and Dell Technology CEO Michael Dell. Basically, you have your One Young World type of panel here, right? These are the heaviest hitters of all the heaviest hitters. These are the people who make Hollywood what it is. You have to be on the right side of history, and this is why it doesn't pay to be nasty. It doesn't pay to be underhanded. The way in which the British press and the British media are retaliating is unattractive on a global scale. And you can see that from the way Meghan and Harry are moving in crowds all over the world versus the way people like, I don't know, who's a troll, Dan Wooten and Piers Morgan and Angela Levin are moving around. They're not, right? They've been pretty much sidelined and relegated to the dark shadows of the underworld of reporting and media. They are not people that regular, everyday people want to have representing them in any way. They don't want to be on panels with people who are telling you that Meghan doesn't have real children. That's a skosh too far for many people. That's just a skosh too far. To say those kinds of conspiracy theories and very wild accusations are just a skosh too far for the average person. You're not on the right side of history if you're repeating those things. You might think, yeah, I'm getting in these digs, I'm calling them these names, it makes me feel good because how dare they say I'm racist? I mean, I'm racist and everything, but how dare they say that? Nobody that is part of the global majority, and certainly not the people who make the world move, the Dell CEOs, the Amazon CEOs, the Netflix CEOs, they don't want to have you mucking up their good platforms with your hate stuff. So, yeah, you might get a little bit on Talk TV or GMB News or whatever those news stations are called over there. You might get yourself a little airtime there, but you're catering to a mostly neo-Nazi type crowd. You're not reaching the masses. And we know from experience and by their own admission, they're not getting paid squat. Victoria Arbiter lost her entire career, her six-figure career at CNN for 320 pounds. It's the same thing with the courtiers. They're happy to throw Meghan and Harry under the bus for a couple hundred or thousand pounds. And then it all makes sense when you learn that they're being paid in scones, Earl Grey tea, and a few pairs of Williams Old slacks every year. They get paid nothing. So it makes sense that they would then have to desperately sell made up stories like Meghan made Kate cry in order to get a couple thousand pounds out of it. They have to sell those stories. They're starving. These people that are selling the hate, perpetuating the hate, part of that toxic hate cycle, they're just withering away. It's been recently announced that Morgan's out at Talk TV. Talk TV is being dissolved. Wooten is officially gone, fired for good from GMB or whatever that station is called. People don't really have the appetite for that when they have left 4 years ago. It's been 4 years and counting that they left. You can only recycle the same stuff over and over and over. You don't have anything new. There's nothing fresh. You've worn out everything you could possibly say. And look at them. Meghan and Harry are thriving. If you are railing against them, despite the fact that they're showing up and doing good, people are not going to be attracted to that on a media level, especially when we're in this time of mental health care. Gen Z is very much into that. Millennials are very much into that. Breaking the cycles, breaking those generational curses, focusing on self-care, focusing on mental health. You think that you're going to have success with these groups of people with all of this vitriol that you keep spouting and promoting? Initially, people were like, oh my God, this is a new thing. And the information was all very gossipy. And just like gossip, you want to kind of hear it. But it's been 4 years, man. You got to do something else. You got to either get with the program or just admit that none of the things that you said about them were true, and which they're not going to do. So they're not getting with any program. They're all falling off one by one. They have spent the last 8 years nearly making up story after story after story as if it were fact. And after all this time, after all said and done, the people that believe those stories are coming to collect. You told us that they didn't have any friends in Hollywood, but that has clearly been disproven time and time again by all the red carpet appearances, the warm welcomes everywhere they go, all of their projects being well received and people clamoring to work with them. You told us all kinds of things, and none of them have come to pass. Kate's uncle is doing his little song and dance on Celebrity Big Brother, and within minutes of getting there, he's already yapping about Meghan, going off about Meghan, being a spoke in the wheel or whatever he said, and all of social media lit up. Like, why is this wife-beating cokehead that has never met Meghan talking? Why is he even there? He's an abusive POS. Why is he even there to begin with? So it's backfiring spectacularly. And I don't know, it's just put up or shut up. Provide any receipts for any of these things that you have said about them, any of these lies that you have told about them. Provide the receipts. It's been almost a decade. Provide the receipts or shut the hell up. Anyways, I just want to come on here and give some of that good news update. March is going to be so bomb, y'all. That's all, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. I am so grateful for you all. If you enjoy my content, please consider liking and subscribing and sharing so we can continue to grow. At 3K, we will have our 3K giveaway just like we did at 2K. I will do the random YouTube comment picker and post that video as I did last time in the community tab. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Please be kind, and I will see you later. Bye.